day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope, and the new Nigeria is certainly possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Again, today we have to come back and have a discussion on what is happening in Nigeria, especially as the tripartite committee on the minimum wage is finalizing on their take on what the average minimum Nigerian workers is going to take home. And again, coming up at this very hour, we have the Senate debate on whether cows are citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And of course, we will be bringing you up to date on the Operation Rescue Nigeria, which the General Oluchi has brought up among Nigerians, and the letter that she also brought to be circulated to all, for politicians, for citizens, and everybody in Nigeria. And of course, I have several people to have the discussions with. I have Divine Dons here in the studio with me, and Otto, and several other Obedients on Zoom. So you guys are welcome to the show.
Thank you for joining us on this live broadcast.
Welcome back to Obidient Family TV.
All right, and then for the people on the show, as we progress on the Zoom, as we progress, we'll be bringing them one of each. But let's start with what is happening on the floor of the Senate. We know that Professor Chidi Anselmo, a well-known human rights lawyer and the former chairman of the Nigerian National Human Rights Commission, has spoken on the recent debate between the Senate President, Senator Aurelio, and regarding the citizenship status of cows in Nigeria. In quote, he said, in the Nigerian Senate, there is an interesting debate as to whether or not cows are citizens of Nigeria. That is what Chidi Odinkaru wrote. He highlighted the unusual nature of the discussion taking place within the red chambers, which is the Nigerian Senate. And the debate brought by Senator Ariero's statement regarding citizenship of cows has gained attention, is trending both within and outside Nigeria, raising questions about the interpretation of citizenship laws and the rights afforded to non-human entities. Professor Chidi Odinkalu's statement underlines the unconventional nature of the discourse ongoing within the red chambers, drawing attention to the general implications of assigning citizenship to animals within the legal framework of a nation. And that is part of this very discussion that we are going to have. So let's begin with you in the studio here, Don. While we are talking about rescuing Nigeria every day, when we sit down here and we are giving out the information on what is happening in Nigeria, we now see the people that we have sent to represent us in various capacities in the Senate, in the House of Reps, debating on cows and how cow lives are better than the lives of human beings. Even the people who are supposedly training these very cows. But let it not just be that it's something we're talking about. Let's first get this one of those discussions in the Senate and the one that also happened in the Green Chambers, which is the House of Representatives. So both National Assembly are debating mostly now on cows and citizenship. Let's take a listen. We'll not go there. We'll come back.
Cows are not citizens of Nigeria.
So, Mr. President, cows are not citizens of Nigeria.
You didn't hear what I said. Senator Nehru, are you arguing with me?
No.
I said cows are not citizens. The section you are referring to is talking about citizens of Nigeria.
Yes.
And cows are not citizens of Nigeria. Cows can come in from Niger. They can come in from Chad, anywhere. But cows are not citizens.
Wrong.
So, your point of order is noted, but rejected. You want to make contribution on the debate?
Why Nigerians, we have become so edgy now. Maybe because of the food we eat now. We eat so much of Maggi. We have become so impatient that we don't want to listen to each other. We don't want to, provide solutions that will be workable to our country. Mr. Speaker, I sit here, my colleague is saying the cattle, the herdman, values his cows more than the lives he is killing. Which is not true. You can't sit down here and just make conclusions. Yes, the herdsman values even the life of the cow more than his own life. That is how God has created him.
No cow, not even 10 billion cows, is up or has enough value like a human being. It's not for one human life. So when you say God has created cows them in such a manner that they value their cows more than human beings, I find that very insulting and demeaning.
We have heard it not just from us, you have heard it from the House of Reps, you've heard it from the Senate to the level of the President of the Senate debating on whether cows could be classified as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria amid the hunger and hardship in Nigeria, amid everything that is going wrong in Nigeria that needs to talk about. While we are talking about worker salary and all of that, they are now talking about debates on cow and citizenship in Nigeria at this 21st century. And so, Divine Don, I know say your mother do muy since. I beg, make you tell us what you think about what these people they do. Whether what we send them, then go do there, and then they do.
Once again, we've seen a misplacement of priorities on the part of these people, because this conversation is very, very laughable. Because even if for a minute we decide to deliberate on the importance of a cow's life and the importance of a human's life, I don't think we should even put them in juxtaposition, because the truth is human life will always be very valued. That is why we have human rights activists and human rights and Universal Declaration of Human Rights instead of, you know, animal rights per se. I mean, there are animal rights, but as you know, the context they were talking about this is about the anti-grazing law, right? That is currently scaling second reading, because the Senate is trying to ban open grazing in different parts of the country and, you know, establish a ranching system. And majority of the people, or exactly that particular woman we saw on the TV defending cows and all of that, is basically coming from, you know, the sentimental values. I don't want to make it a Muslim Christian thing, but majority of the people who are you know, in support of the open grazing are people who have whatever religious sentiments towards cows and their herdsmen and all of that. But the point is simple: there's never a point, or there will never be a point where we can equate cows to human beings. Human beings will always be, you know, human life is going to be always very valuable, right? And so the fact that we're even having this conversation is very laughable, and that's not even what they should be talking about in the Nigerian Senate.
At this very moment in time, while we are talking about minimum wage for citizens, the proper citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we are talking about cows. What are your reactions to this, Otto?
Well, it's the same. It's the same. It shouldn't even be a conversation in the first place. Making reference to the senators, to the senator that made a statement, the lady.
But don't you think that this should be the kind of conversation that should be going on? But it should be between the people who are in a beer parlor, other than the people that are in the House of Reps and the Senate.
Well, you see, I like to look at things logically and from a perspective. There's a bill that is being passed, and then one of the legislators interpreted it out of context, which gave rise to this debate of cow this and cow that. Of course, you saw the leader there telling him this is not an argument. So he obviously took it out of context. And then the senator, the female senator, Ashetu, that came up to say that the herdsman's life values the life of the cow even more than his own life. This is cultural, this is traditional, this has nothing to do with the citizenship of Nigeria. Even if the herdsman can lay down his life for his cattle, that is his own business. But you don't bring it into governance when you're talking about the real citizens of a country. So I don't think it's a big deal. It's not worth.
And I saw in the video while the Senate President Akpabio was asking him a question that I feel is asking, are you arguing with me? I mean, exactly. They are both senators. Why would he be asking such a question? You can argue with him. Yes. An argument is, I disagree with what you are saying. Yes. And moreover, he did not even allow the man to come on from where he was coming from.
Obviously, Senator Akpabio is on our side, because, I mean, how can you be arguing that a cow is a citizen of a country in a hallowed chamber like that, where debates concerning the welfare of the real citizens is being discussed. So it doesn't make sense. Of course, there are proceedings, there are procedures. When in interpreting a bill, in the reading of a bill, if it is interpreted out of context, it is the responsibility of the leader of the House to call the members to order. And I think that is what he was doing there. He was just doing his job.
Okay, let's get the this thing of our people on Zoom. Lord Kingsley on Zoom, please, can you unmute and chook your mouth into this? Precisely, should this debate on cows being citizens going on at the time when we are talking about the minimum wage deadlock?
Good evening, Mr. Kanu, and everyone in the studio there, and fellow Nigerians. Well, it's not a surprise to me anymore. It's not a surprise to me anymore that this kind of topic will be debated in the House of Senate. Will be debated in the highest house of the policymakers, debating if animals will take citizenship in our country, Nigeria. This is somehow going back to tell you the intelligence, to tell you the capacity of these people that are actually in these seats. How they got there, what they did to get there, and what their mindset is all about. They are not bothered about you. They are not bothered about me. They are not bothered about the citizens of Nigeria. They are only bothered about what is important to them, which is their cows, which is their animals. I don't see why this topic should be something that will take hours to be debated in the House of Senate. Why? Because they don't have anything to do. They don't have any relevant topic to talk about. Minimum wages is there for them to at least get a head start on. But no, that is not their business. That is of no concern to them. They're concerned about